Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sly here with Flo. And my boy, he's been doing the rounds on his media tour, Jesse Sapolu, which is awesome because I really haven't heard much from him. But these past month or two, he's been out there and he's on 95.7 The Game. And he talked about Brock Purdy and the similarities because he was drafted late. Obviously, Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft. And he compared it to someone we both know. So let's check this out.
And Brock Purdy's been a topic of conversation in the football world, some nasty dialogues there. But Brock Purdy, what's your evaluation of him when you watch him run around there and make plays for the Niners?
Well, I spoke at his Mr. Irrelevant banquet in Newport Beach. The Niners sent me there. And I talked to him about, I was 11th round draft choice. So I feel like a Mr. Irrelevant coming out. But, a lot of people say it's premature for us to compare him to Joe Montana. And not that I'm comparing him to Joe, but there's a lot of similarities in their games. The ability to process defenses, throwing at a spot, anticipation is one of his strengths. And we saw last week, and I knew that all along because I saw it in preseason. We saw last week that he can actually scramble and get out of trouble, which is what separates him even more from what Jimmy G can do. Jimmy took us a long way, and we'll not always be thankful of that. But I think Brock's ability to anticipate, solve defenses in a short period of time, and then get away from trouble. And if it wasn't for his legs, I honestly didn't think we could win that game last week. With Brock Purdy, everybody's saying he can't play from behind. He can't put a team on his back. Well, I don't know, what people are seeing, but, what he did last week from 17 points down to bring our team back, and now we're in the Super Bowl. I love an underdog story, and I don't know why a lot of the sports shows are harder on him. I'm thinking, people should fall in love with this guy because,
Right.
He's not expected to do anything, and here he is. It's a great example for a lot of kids that are not looked at very highly, that, if you believe in yourself, you can do something with it. And so that's why I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy's, and I think a lot of America will be cheering for him to get it done.
All right, man. Comparing him to the great running back Joe Montana.
Joe Montana was a quarterback, you idiot. I said Joe Montana.
I said Joe Montana.
So, man, what do you think about this? Him with a little bit. He said he was at the game. He reminded him of Steve Young and Joe Montana. Steve Young with the legs, and then Joe Montana with the smarts. But what do you think about him out there? Pretty much comparing him to the GOAT, and he doesn't like how they're criticizing him in the media.
Yeah, man, I was loving this. Not only because me and you have been talking about how quickly he processes, but what Jesse Sapolu also brought up that I actually didn't even think about is how quickly he figures out these other defenses. Like he's able to just just take away their game plan of what they're scheming against him. He's able to figure it out. I guess he just because how smart he is. Obviously early on it kind of looked bad, but if it wasn't for Brock Purdy, we wouldn't have won those two games. He was able to figure these guys out when it mattered the most, and that's what makes this kid special. And I love what Jesse Sapolu said, because he's like, dude, I love this kid because he has a similar connection to me. He feels like he was a Mr. Irrelevant himself, being an 11th round pick, and he's also like John Montana-esque. He just is able to process things. He was also a late draft pick, so he's like, dude, that where you get drafted doesn't really matter, just what you do with your opportunity. And I love that. I also liked what he said about Trent Williams too. How he's like, dude, I want this guy to win so bad. You can just see the expressions Trent Williams had this whole week, just being at the Super Bowl, that he really wants it. So he's like, dude, I want these two guys to go out there, get themselves their first Super Bowl, and pretty much how they really have the opportunity to do it, because now this team has experience. They've been here before. Obviously, they're playing a team that's been there as well, but they got to cash in on their chance. He says we've been knocking at the door, similar to him. He's like, dude, I lost 4 NFC championship games. I got 4 Super Bowls, but he's like, every single time it was just experience to be able to get through that door. So I liked what Jesse Sapolu was saying. What do you think, man?
It's crazy because I watched so much 49er content even before I did the YouTube. I just was obsessed. I'm obsessed with the 49ers, man. I just remember Jesse Sapolu going and meeting Brock Purdy right after he was drafted, and they had a big thing for him. And I just remember him just telling him, if I could win a Super Bowl, I could be a Super Bowl champion. You can do it too. You can be the leader. And I'm like hearing this, like that's really inspiring. But come on, like it's Brock Purdy. We have 2 other quarterbacks that we're paying big money to.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
well, Sudfeld too.
Sudfeld,
yeah.
yeah.
So all 3 of those dudes, like, dude, they probably know. They're like the chances are slim. But I was like, dude, that's awesome that he's saying all this stuff. And then, dude, it's actually coming true. So I get why Jesse's so invested in the Niners going to all the games, because he was right there with Brock Purdy from day one. You know, so there's like a connection there. And like you said, and what Jesse said, they're both late round picks. You know, back then there was like, what was it, like 12 rounds, something crazy like that. And both of them being late round picks, it seems like they have a great connection out there. And I don't know, to me, what's the, I'm trying to think of that movie. Is it She's All That? One of those 90s movies back then when one dude, he like thinks this chick's so hot and then no one else likes the chick. And then all of a sudden, like, everybody likes the chick. I think that's kind of what it is, where right now a lot of like people in the media, they're like, oh, he's kind of being led, he's being carried by the team, and no one's really seen it except like us, like Kyle Shanahan and the team. Like, they're the ones that say, yeah, we see something in this guy. But so many of the media pundits out there, they don't see it. They just see a system guy. And I was listening to the PFF guys, and they were like, Brock's good, but you know, he's no Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes does it all by himself. And it's just like the same thing over and over. But I think we have ourselves that one, you know, that no one else sees. And I feel that he's going to do it, man. I feel that he's going to break that freaking ceiling, or whatever the hell they call it, and prove to these guys, yeah, you know what, he is the guy. Like, he is the one that could bring us this Super Bowl, and he could be the one that gets that MVP. You know, I know, what's his name, Nick Wright, saying that he just doesn't think, no chance in heck, that he's going to be the reason that the Niners win. He thinks that the Niners can win, but not because of Brock Purdy. And I think he will shut up a lot of naysayers out there. And it's going to be tough, because obviously they got 2 of the number 1, number 2 all-pro cornerbacks in the NFL. So we're probably going to have to run the ball a lot. But I think when it comes down to the clutch moments, Brock Purdy, I think he'll get it done, man. I really do.
Yeah, man, and like Jesse was also saying how he's like, all right, we're gonna obviously have to go against Patrick Mahomes, but he's like, in order to freaking be that number 1 guy, you got to go out there and beat that guy. So you can't show any fear, and that's the thing about Brock Purdy. He doesn't really show fear, man. He's always willing to step up to any challenge. Obviously, he came in as, like you said, that 4th-string quarterback. He had to freaking prove himself every single time. He didn't have much opportunities, but he makes it happen just because. I don't know what it's about him. The guy's just special. He's able to figure things out and not get his way, but, you know, like, make the best out of every single opportunity he's given. So I don't think this is going to be any different. You know what I'm hoping for? Assuming we win it, after Brock Purdy goes, says, he goes celebrates with his parents and teammates, I hope Jesse Sapolu, he beats him too, and he gets to celebrate with this guy, because you can tell Jesse Sapolu really wants this for him, because like you said, it seems like they've had that bond since draft day, you know?
The movie She's All That. If you're a 90s kid, you know, Freddie Prinze Jr., man, finds an ugly duckling and gets that person, even though everyone else like whatever, but then they realize, dude, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. So Brock Purdy, man, all the haters out there could just keep talking, and it's Judgment Day. We're 1 week away, man. We've been talking about this for so long, and I think we're gonna be on the right side of history, man. I know we're going off on a limb, and I know people are ready to start saying, you idiots, but nah, man, I'll stay there till the end. You know, obviously, I wanted Trey Lance to succeed the first year, but and I was pumping him up. You know, I was hearing good things from OTA's minicamp, but then when we went there, dude, it was Brock Purdy, man. Like Kyle Shanahan said, you know, he was the one. You know, he was the guy that was playing the best, and you have to, you know, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not the greatest, but if it's your first year and you're outperforming Jimmy Garoppolo and the 3rd pick in the draft and the other veteran in Sudfeld, I mean, something's up, man. Something has to be up. There's something special there. So I think he's going to get it. What's up?
Yeah, it's crazy because like how he said, like the Brock Purdy, She's All That analogy is like Trey Lance is like that girl that everybody wants, you know? It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But once he finally got her, we're like, oh shit, this chick's kind of crazy. Yeah, she's wild. Yeah. It was all those things, and you're like, oh shit. Like sometimes what you want,
she cheat on you.
Sometimes what you want isn't the best for you. You know, sometimes it's those things that you don't see coming that are end up being the life's best kind of like things for yourself, and that's probably Brock Purdy for us.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully he gets it done. Gets this elusive 6th Super Bowl ring that we've been waiting forever for. But
yeah, man, it's coming down to it, and I I don't know. If we do win this game, man, I kind of want to just like, dude, we freaking told you so. Like, we told you so. And the funny thing is, me and you were not like fanboys, man. There are times opposite of fanboys. Like, we criticize all the quarterbacks we've had in the past. Even Jeff Garcia, that's sometimes we're like, dude, what the fudge are you doing? Like, we like Jeff. We really like Jeff. But there are sometimes like we were like, dude, he's not going to get us to that ring. With Brock Purdy, it feels different. Like, it feels like he's someone that's going to actually take us over the hump and get us that Super Bowl. He's just a quarterback we haven't seen like that in forever, man. He's like our own version of Pat Mahomes, you know, the way he's able to scramble out of the pocket, make plays, playmakers. We haven't had that ever, man. Ever since Steve Young. So I think this might be it, man.
All right, well, you guys let us in the comments what you guys think about Justice Polo's takes. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See y'all next time.
Peace.